The fractured oath. The rain had begun at dusk, soft at first, then relentless, washing the streets of Blackridge in a veil of silver. Beneath flickering street lamps, Detective Arlen Vey stalked the shadows, his coat heavy with water, his mind heavier still. For 10 years, he had buried the truth. For 10 years, he had worn the mask of law while hiding the heart of a man who had lost everything. His wife, his child, his home taken in a single night of fire and blood. The city called it an accident. Arlen knew better. He had seen the men slip away into the night, faces obscured, but their insignias burned into his memory, the mark of the Iron Order. The Order ruled Blackridge quietly, an empire dressed in suits and silk, its power invisible yet everywhere. The police, the courts, the politicians, every hand was bought, every eye blind. Arlen had sworn an oath to uphold justice, but justice had died with his family. All that remained was vengeance. And tonight, vengeance was stirring. Part I. The spark. It began with a body found in the river docks, throat cut, wrists bound. A courier for the Iron Order, young, disposable, but carrying something valuable. Inside his jacket, Arlen discovered a ledger, half-burned but legible. Numbers, shipments, and names he recognized from court cases buried, investigations shut down. And at the top, a name he had whispered in nightmares: Victor Dreven. Dreven, the Shadow King of Blackridge, the man who had ordered the fire that consumed Arlen's life. Untouchable. Or so everyone thought. Arlen traced the entries, piecing together a map of corruption that spanned the city. Illegal arms moved through the harbor, laundered money channeled through charities, bribes disguised as campaign donations. It was meticulous, perfect. But there was a flaw. One shipment, scheduled for midnight. Arlen knew this was his opening. Not to arrest, not to expose the courts were already poisoned, but to strike. To bleed them, piece by piece, until Dreven himself felt the blade. Party the first blow. The warehouse reeked of salt and oil. Crates lined the walls, stacked high with contraband rifles, explosives, unmarked packages. Guards moved in pairs, armed and lazy, their confidence born from years without consequence. Arlen moved like a phantom. He had discarded his badge tonight, replaced by a black mask and gloves. His gun was silenced, his knife sharper than memory. One by one, the guards fell, throats slit, lungs punctured. Not quickly, not mercifully. At the center of the warehouse stood the foreman, a man named Calder. Arlen bound him to a chair with steel wire, the ledger spread open before him. "You move the shipments," Arlen said, voice low. "You know the routes. You know the men." Calder sneered. "You think you're the first. The Order owns this city. You can't touch Dreven." Arlen pressed the knife into his palm, slow enough to make Calder shudder. "I don't need to touch him. I'll make him bleed through you." By dawn, the warehouse was an inferno. The papers had burned, the crates exploded, and Calder's screams were swallowed by the flames. From the bridge above, Arlen watched the fire consume the Order's lifeline. It was only the beginning. Part 3. The hunt. Word spread fast. The Iron Order had enemies, but none bold enough to strike like this. Rumors painted Arlen as a ghost, a demon, a specter haunting the night. Each week, another blow landed. A money launderer drowned in his own fountain, a judge's mansion gutted by fire, a corrupt captain found hanging beneath the pier. The city stirred. Some whispered of justice, others of fear. But Dreven knew better. "This isn't chaos," Dreven told his council, his voice cold steel. "This is precision. Someone is cutting us down piece by piece. Find him. Break him." Arlen, meanwhile, built his network carefully. Informants drawn from the city's forgotten. Beggars, orphans, factory workers. Those who hated the Order as much as he did. He became myth and a lie, punisher and protector. Yet with each strike, the weight in his chest grew heavier. He had sworn revenge, but the line between justice and cruelty blurred. The bodies piled high, and in the dark corners of his mind, he wondered, had he become the monster he hunted? Part IV. The betrayal. It happened on a winter's night. Arlen had been given a lead by one of his closest informants, a woman named Mara. A shipment disguised as medical supplies, hidden beneath the city hospital. He trusted her. She had saved his life once. But when he descended into the tunnels, he found nothing but silence. And then the lights flared. Dozens of rifles raised, men in black armor surrounding him. At their head, Mara. Her eyes avoided his. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "They had my brother." Driven stepped forward from the shadows, immaculate in his suit, his smile carved in ice. "You've been troublesome," Driven said, "but everyone has a weakness. Yours was trust." The rifle butt slammed into Arlen's skull, and darkness swallowed him. Partly the oath reforged, he awoke in chains. The cellar stank of mold and blood. Hooks lined the walls, some still wet with crimson. Driven stood before him, a knife gleaming in his hand. "You thought you could burn my empire," Driven said. "But empires don't burn. They adapt. You are nothing but one man. Broken. Forgotten." Arlen met his gaze, blood dripping from his lips. Empires fall the same way they rise, one brick at a time. Driven drove the knife into his side, slow and deliberate. "Not tonight. Tonight, you die. But fate is crueler than men." The chains were old, the hooks loose, and rage can make a man stronger than iron. With a roar, Arlen tore free, the chain whipping like a serpent. Guards fell in screams and shattered bone. Driven stumbled back, eyes wide, for the first time afraid. "You took everything from me," Arlen growled, advancing. "Now I'll take everything from you." The fight was brutal, desperate. Blood slicked the floor, steel clashed against chain. But in the end, Driven lay broken, his empire burning in the distance as Arlen dragged him into the night. Epilogue: the ghost of Blackridge. Weeks passed. The order fractured without its king, tearing itself apart in power struggles. Corruption still lingered, but the iron grip had loosened. The people whispered of freedom, of change, and of the ghost who had delivered it. Arlen Vey was never seen again. Some said he died with Driven, others that he vanished into the night, seeking new wars to fight. But his legend remained. The man who had lost everything. The man who had taken it back in blood. The man who had become vengeance itself.